Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Rampant. Alright, cast and crew information down below, and let me mispronounce stuff and read this very quick plot from IMDb. Lee Chung is the Prince of Joseon, but he has been taken hostage to the Qing Dynasty. Alright, so yeah, lots of things to mispronounce here, as this is a Korean film and a Korean zombie film. I guess kind of following in the footsteps of Train to Busan, which was also a Korean zombie film, but this one is a little bit different, different time period here, and a real different theme. We're going back in the time of dynasties and kings and so forth. So, Train to Busan was more of a modern piece. But this one goes back in time, and that's fun. It's fun to have a new setting. It's fun when horror films take us to a different time. And in this case, for many of us, this is not only a different time, but a different place. Being in Korea and so forth. So, it's a big difference and a big plus for the movie. We're used to seeing, a lot of zombie films, in the woods and, through areas of America that have changed and gone to hell and so forth. We got recently Blood Quantum on Shudder, which took us to an indigenous place. So that was fun. So that was a little bit of a different territory. So it's good to see, them kind of spread out the zombiness here and take us to another place here. So yeah, this one's from 2018, but I guess I don't know how long I caught it on Netflix, I believe. So I don't know how long it's been on there. But yeah, I'm assuming that it was released in 2018 in Korea and that part of the world, and then eventually landed over here. And I'm glad to have it because it's a really good movie. Yes, the zombies do run rampant in this movie. It is subtitled, so early on you kind of have to adjust and try to figure out who the characters are and who the major players are in this movie. And you kind of, sometimes with subtitles you kind of have to see how it goes and what's being said and what's coming from what character, and that's a little bit of the case here. But again, this is about kings and kingdoms and dynasties and so forth. So the overall story here is you have a king in charge, and he has two sons, and one of them is not really interested in the crown, and he's kind of off on his own. And then you have another one that kind of gets boiled down in, I don't know, the politics of the situation or whatever. And the king is very worried about people betraying him and so forth. And it turns out that his son was maybe involved in something he shouldn't have been, and ultimately his son ends up killing himself. I'm not a big teaser here. This is a spoiler. This happens early in the movie, so it's just kind of a setup of events here, because the real point of the story is that this other son, who has left and kind of gone on his own and in a way even wanted, they're trying to search for him comes to a point where that happens. It's all about his return, and what happens after that. So not a big spoiler there that the other son dies. There is, like I said, a little bit of politicking going on there. You had the king, you have the two sons, and obviously down to one, and then you have a general who's basically in charge of their military, their soldiers, whatever you want to call it there. He's involved as well, and he doesn't get along with the sons either. And then we have the zombies that run rampant here. and they in this movie they refer to them as demons, because remember, we're going back in time here, so there's no, I don't believe at any point they ever say zombies. They just refer to them as demons because, remember, we're going back in time here, and they're big on religion and so forth, so they just kind of think of it in that way. And you kind of see it opens up in the beginning of the movie, and a scene where you see one of them, and a situation arises where I guess you have a chance to kind of extinguish the zombies, or the demons in this case, right then and there, or have it unleashed on this territory here. And this king, he has his area there, but I guess he also rules all these surrounding areas, which are, like little villages that are around, I guess, the main kingdom, or the main place where the king lives. And unfortunately, the demons get, I guess, sent loose on all these villages here. And obviously, it starts with one and then spreads really quickly. So the zombies, or demons, are running rampant on all these villages and so forth. And that's where we really get introduced more to Lee Chung here, and the Prenz. We'll just call him the Prenz. And he has a sidekick, which is really funny. It's a good, it's a funny sidekick there. And he's maybe not the most skilled fighter, but he's very funny. He adds a comedic tone to the movie, even though it's not a horror comedy at all. But he has a lot of comedy in it. And but the Prince is on the opposite side, is a very, very skilled fighter. Very good with the sword, and you learn that very quickly. They come upon a village. There's nobody there. They're looking around, and he sends his sidekick in to get some food into one of the houses. And as that happens, people who have been looking for him come, and he's basically daring them to try to arrest him. A fight ensues, and as this fight ensues, his sidekick is inside and runs into one of these demons. But he's not sure what is happening there. But he kind of gets scared, runs outside, and before you know it, in the middle of just fighting these regular soldiers, out come all these zombies from everywhere. And so it was a big, really the real, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the real good first fight scene of this movie, where you see them basically, having to fight off all these zombies. So it's a real fun scene, and kind of sets you up for what's to come, with further fighting of the zombies. So they get lucky, and another group of people come and save him, because they were basically really outnumbered here. And he's suspect of them. He thinks that maybe they came to capture him as well, but they haven't. They're from a nearby village who have already crossed paths with these demons, and know what the story is here with them, and they kind of fill him in, and he just, even though he just fought them, he's still not really a total believer of what's happening here. But they take him back to where they're basically hiding out, and they have some people there that they have put in basically these little cells, and for their safety, because they're sick and they've been bitten, and they're not sure what's going to happen to them. Well, we all know what's going to happen to them. And so they try to convince the Prince to do his, Prince duty here, go back to the king and tell him what's happening here to all his surrounding villages and so forth. And it takes some convincing, but he ultimately decides to. And while this is happening again back in the kingdom, you have a king who, again, is worried about people trying to treason and overthrow him and maybe kill him, and all this drama that just happened with one of his sons. So you have that going on, and you have a very cool scene where and I'm gonna kind of slow down here because I don't want to give away the whole movie, and the point is to review, not just give a summary here. but I just want to kind of give you a feel for what's happening. A really cool scene where a bunch of women come out and some kind of ceremony or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the overall point was supposed to be, but it was supposed to be, you know, some ceremony in front of the king, and a really cool scene where one of these women slowly and very unexpectedly turn into one of these demons. And I'll leave it there and let you guys enjoy the rest of that scene. And then I'll, you know, obviously the prince makes it there, and, you know, he gives his case and so forth. And you can see that the general and him do not get along, and you know that eventually there's going to be a showdown between them at some point. So fast forwarding a little bit, you know, you get an end of the movie, really great end of the movie here, where again the zombies are rampant, like the title of the movie, and you know, the zombies come and make a full-out attack here on the kingdom, and there's just tons of them, and there's huge sword fighting, and, you know, kind of thing. If you're a fan of anything, you know, the Asian movies where there's, you know, karate fighting, sword fighting, that kind of thing, and then you throw zombies on top of it. It's pretty cool. You know, you have a girl, she's got a bow and arrows, she's doing that. Other people have swords. You know, so there's, you know, just a ton of zombie killing going on here, a ton of fighting. You know, it's a really great just final action sequence here that, you know, kind of goes, then kind of dies down, gives you a break, and then kind of goes again. But it's real fun, and I really like the conclusion to the movie, and the way they present the story towards the end, and how they finish it off. You know, and there's a lot of, you know, this is, you know, not just about zombie killing, whatever. You know, it's a lot about story and overcoming, and a prince, you know, finding his way, and doing right for his people where he didn't really want to. He didn't want to take the responsibility. So, you know, there's a lot to watch the prince go through in this movie, and a lot of his development as well. So it's not just the zombie killing here. You've got a character here that needs to develop and grow up and take his place in this world, and you see that happen as well. So that's a good part of the story there. And you know, the zombies, I'm not gonna say are totally on par with something like Train to Busan. There, you know, they did some really cool things like making the zombies, you know, put their arms up over their heads and do some weird stuff like that, and that kind of craziness. These zombies were pretty much, you know, kept to what they were, and that was, you know, villagers turned zombie. They didn't go to any extremes. I would say, you know, that you know, one of the best ones was definitely the scene where I mentioned, where the women are all there and one of them starts to turn. That was probably one of the better ones there. But they're still good zombies. They're still worth seeing and checking out. And these are fast-moving zombies as well, so that helps to the action of the movie. It kind of fits. If they were slow-moving zombies, that really wouldn't have fit. And probably, as good of fighters they were, it would have been too easy for them to kill off. So these are fast-moving zombies as well. So I don't know if it's just the Asian thing that they just do fast-moving zombies. That's the way they view it, or it kind of goes with their style and so forth. So I'm fine with that. That's okay. To each his own, whether you like slow or fast, and that's another debate for another time. But yeah, just really good movie, really good zombie movie. Not as good as Train to Busan. You know, that is really a spectacular zombie movie. But this one's definitely worth seeing. Really fun, really good, and well done. And like I said, it's good to see a different time period and a different kind of story. It's good to see that, you know, you can play the zombies in different circumstances and different time periods and make it work, and in different places in the world and make it work. So it's fun to see them in that way and in different places. So I'm gonna wrap this up and give this one I'm gonna give it 3.5 pools of blood. You know, I don't know why I don't give it 4. You know, I mean, I guess I wasn't blown away by it. But I think it was really excellent movie regardless. Again, you can find it, I believe it was on Netflix if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I definitely think you should check it out. Definitely check it out if you were a fan of Train to Busan. Again, maybe not at that level, but still well worth a watch. And again, gives you a lot of new things and a very, very good story put together. And they reveal, there's some a little bit of twist towards the end and so forth. You might figure it out, you might not. I don't know. But I think you'll kind of get the gist of where this is going. But they kind of reveal, really a little bit more of how the zombies spread around. I kind of mentioned at the beginning that it kind of started with one, and but they give you a little bit more details there towards the end. So it is fun. I don't think I really spoiled anything. It's a pretty straightforward story of what's going on here. But I did leave some things open, and I think if you like action and you like zombies and you like a lot of zombie killing, this will definitely be for you. So with that, and before I get run rampant here with zombies or anything else going on here, again, 3.5 pools of blood, and you can find more reviews at horosgoryreviews.blogspot.com, and subscribe to this channel for more video reviews if that's just what you're interested in, and social media is down below as well. Feel free to, if you see me tweet or Facebook about this movie, feel free to talk to me there about it, or in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts about the movie there as well. Agree or disagree, not a problem. And if there's movies that you want me to review or talk about, not necessarily this one, feel free to let me know. And, I'm always happy to talk movies, especially, obviously, horror. So with that, I guess I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.